Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. It's so good to be back here in Gander, Newfoundland for Central Minex 2025. Thanks to our good friends at Rally Drilling. They understand the importance of bringing this conversation alive, and everybody's voice matters. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hi there, I'm Percy Farwell. I'm the mayor of the town of Gander.
Your Worship, a pleasure to have you on the show. Talk to me about the importance of Central Minex, this event, this trade show in Gander.
Well, I mean, the event is very important, obviously, for the activity it generates in our community. I think the sector is extremely important to all of Central Newfoundland, all of the province, really. And, you know, as most people know, there's been a lot of activity in the central part of the province over the last number of years. So you know, that hence, you know, the Gander Area Chamber decided to establish this event. And I think the interest in this event sort of confirms the level of excitement that there is around mining in this part of the province. So it's a great thing for the town to have a show like this. You know, they're just setting up around us here now. They're setting up the trade show, which is, I think they've got all the booths sold out, over 100 booths. This is the third year for the event. It's grown year over year each time it's been held. So we're really excited about it, and it's a good opportunity for companies that are engaged in the sector, that are part of the supply chain for the sector. It's a good opportunity for young students will be participating in this as well. It's a good opportunity for them to become aware of potential employment opportunities, and on the other side of that equation is a good opportunity for some of these companies to possibly identify a labor market, you know. So it's great for the development and growth of the sector, and just everybody together, the networking that happens, the discussions that take place, the learning that occurs. These things are really good for the sector, and there's an energy that comes when there's a show like this. I find the last couple of years when this one is held, we have a lot of these types of things here in Gander. There was an outdoor show here that just moved out a couple of days ago, and the mineral exploration moved in. So it is great for the community, but it's great for the sector, and the sector is great for the community.
You know, you use the word opportunity there a lot, and I sense the opportunity in Central Newfoundland, in Gander, around the mining sector. Talk to me just about the excitement you're feeling in your community around this sector.
Well, there is excitement, there's no doubt. I mean, you have to temper that a bit, you know, because, you know, a mine is not a mine until it's a mine, you know, but we've, you know, there's a lot of activity in this area that we have not, much more than we've seen in previous, you know, years, previous decades. So just the magnitude of the exploration effort that's going on, particularly with in the immediate vicinity of our town, you know, some really good potential within 10 minutes drive of an international airport. It's not something that happens every now and then, or too often. So there is a lot of excitement, you know, and certainly a lot of interest, and as a municipality, we want to do what we can to support that wherever we need support, to encourage it, and hope that, you know, I know it's a long process from when somebody breaks open a rock and thinks there's good potential there. In this case, you know, in the case of the discovery that's in our immediate area, that happened, you know, 30, 35 years ago. Yeah. And there's no mine yet. But there's been, in recent years, there's been a lot of additional exploration done, tens and hundreds of millions being spent on that exploration. That's all encouraging. And that in itself is, you know, is a stimulant to an economy, and wherever it is, it's not small stuff, right? But of course, the prospect is what the, you know, a lot of the excitement is the longer term, you know, actual commercial mine that might very well come out of all this, and we hope will come out of all this, and a lot of people are confident will, but there's a lot of excitement, you know, and there's always skeptics too, you know, like there will be, because, you know, like I say, it's nothing until it's something, right? But in the case of mining, it is a lot before it's something. Before it's actually a mine, there is a lot of activity takes place, a lot of employment generated, a lot of procurement done, a lot of money spent in an area where there's interest. So all of that is beneficial, and we certainly hope that what we see here is a long-term thing, and we will continue to try to support that the best we can.
It's most people in the world know Gander. Special relationship in the United States, sort of the events around 9/11 and how Gander stepped up to that. Credible military presence here over the years. Gander has been a place on the map for many, many years. What would you tell people about Gander in the future? What do you hope it will be 5, 10 years from now?
We see, and we're trying to plan for, we see growth. We are, even over the last 4 census periods, say, the last 20 years or so, we've seen consistent growth in Gander specifically that sort of is against the provincial trend even, right? Because for most of that time, the provincial population was shrinking, and yet we were, census period over census period growing. We've grown 20-odd% in the last 4 census periods. So we see, young families moving here. We see drawn here by opportunity, drawn here by employment opportunities. We see continuation of that. There's, we are, as a municipality, we are keenly aware of some of the challenges that growth has, not least of which, and certainly not limited to Gander, is things like the housing issue that we are, aggressively working to address on all parts of that scale. We need high-end housing. We desperately need more affordable housing. We have a lot of seniors housing. We need student housing. We have increasing post-secondary educational opportunities here that obviously attract students that require a certain type of housing. So I would, I'm optimistic that in the coming years, and particularly assuming the mining sector continues to grow the way it has over the last number of years, it's a pretty stable community with some really good opportunities in aerospace and aviation that we're just seeing. It's a transformation from why Gander was here to begin with. It's not passenger aircraft stopping and picking up passengers here, but we're getting the provincial government is now is in the planning stages for a Atlantic Wildfire Center here, which will sort of expand upon the existing presence of the provincial water bomber fleet here and include more training, more infrastructure, possibly innovation, these sorts of things. So and looking well outside of our own provincial boundaries in terms of the area that will be serviced. So there's a number of things on the horizon. I think that I'm convinced of the stability and continued growth of the. I better be. I'm the mayor here, but I don't like. I'm not easily convinced. I think there's reason to be optimistic and positive, and I think you're going to see. We are an increasingly diverse community here. And that's visible in your interaction with people here. You will find an increasingly diverse and inclusive community here, and it's also a mindset. I think we would be described by most as a progressive community, and I think all of that bodes well for the future because we, globally we're becoming, we're becoming a more, in all areas we're becoming more diverse. Our communities are, and there are huge opportunities within that. And so the texture of your community may change a bit with that diversity, but it changes for the better, I think, right? And we can't live in the past. We need to embrace our past, but also embrace our future. So I think, the type of community we're trying to build on, and it seems to be, I think there's a lot of cause for optimism.
Your Worship, I really appreciate your perspective on things. I appreciate your optimism and certainly your vision for the future. Thanks very much for joining us on the show. Thanks again to Raleigh Drilling, and you heard it right here. You better come to Gander, even if you're from away.
Appreciate it.